Good morning, my dear children. How are you all? I hope you all fine. So I'm very happy to meet you through this YouTube class after the STAM 1 exam. Okay, so today we are going to start one new chapter from history. Okay, dear children. So history, chapter 3, ruling the countryside. Ruling the countryside. So how this East India Company started ruling the countryside, what are the things happened, what are the drawbacks, how they ruled and everything we are going to see in this lesson. Okay children, so children keep a notepad or a rough note or anything to take notes. So whenever you listening the class, you just take a rough notes. Whatever you are understanding, just take a note. So that will help you a lot to understand. Okay. So just take rough notes in a rough paper so that you can take important points. What are the things you feel important, you can note down. So that will help you a lot. Okay children. So let's start the lesson. We are going to see about the company became the Diwan. The company became the Diwan. So the East India Company, the British people, the East India Company became the Diwan of Bengal. Diwan of Bengal. So East India Company became the Diwan of Bengal. That means it became the main administrator, main controller of Bengal. So on which day, my dear children? On 12th August 1765. So this East India Company became the main controller administrator of Bengal on 12th August 1765. Then, now it has become the Diwan. So as Diwan, what this company have become? So the company became the chief financial administrator of the territory under its control. So it is the main administrator and all the money related revenues and every total control was under the company. Okay dear children. So the company needed to administer the land and organize its revenue resources. So the company administer the land, all the land, okay, and it have to maintain what are the revenue there, and they have to see whether this revenue and whether the yield produced from the land or are helping to meet to grow the company, okay, or that company have some expenses, right? So that expenses, to meet that expenses, to satisfy that, whether this yield and the revenue we are getting from the land are enough, okay, the company have to monitor all those things, okay. So what are the things we have seen in this slide? First, the East India Company. The East India Company became the Diwan of Bengal. Became the Diwan of Bengal. When, my dear children? 12th August 1765. 12th August 1765. Okay, clear with the first point. The next, as Diwan. What they have became? The company became the chief financial administrator. Okay, and third point, the company have to administer the land. Okay, and organize the revenue resources. What are the money they are getting? They have to organize. Okay, so they have to monitor that yield, whatever they are getting from the land and the revenue they are getting, everything, or helping them to meet the expenses they need out for the company. Okay, my dear children. So next, revenue for the company. So we are going to see what are the revenue for the company, for what they need the revenue, what they have done, everything. Okay. So first, the company's aim was to increase the revenue to buy fine cotton and silk cloth as cheaply as possible. So first aim was to increase the revenue. For what they have to increase? To buy fine cotton and silk cloth. What type of cloth? Fine cotton and silk cloth as cheaply as possible. They have to get those in low rates. Then next, second point, within a span of 5 years, the value of goods bought by the company in Bengal doubled. So, the value of goods, what they got, what they bought, everything become doubled. Okay. Then next, the company before 1865 purchased goods in India by importing gold and silver from Britain. So, before 1865, this company purchased goods, things from India by importing gold and silver from Britain. So, they will bring gold and silver from Britain to India and they purchased goods from India and moved to their country. Now, it was financed by the revenue collected in Bengal. So, now all these things were handled by the revenue, the amount tax they collected from Bengal. Next, the artisanal production was in decline. So, artisanal production means that handicrafts, like with they used to make crafts using hand. So, those things became less and agricultural cultivation showed signs of collapse. So, the agricultural cultivation, agricultural things, yield also reduced. So, these all collapsed. Okay. So, then in 1770, a terrible famine killed 10 million people in Bengal. So, in which year, my dear children? 1770, a terrible famine. Famine means scarcity of food, all rough and drought. Okay. So, that killed nearly 10 million people in Bengal. Okay, dear children. So, these are the things. Next, so now they have to improve agriculture. They need to improve agriculture. So, in 1793, the company introduced the permanent settlement. The company introduced permanent settlement. What, my dear children? Permanent settlement. So, by this settlement, the Rajas and Talukas were recognized as Zamindars. So, from particular area, that area is ruled by a Raja or Talukar. So, this Raja and Talukas were they have to collect revenue or rent from the farmers. Okay, the farmers will be cultivating on the land, right? So, for that land, that farmers or peasants, they have to pay to the Rajas. Okay, and this Raja have to pay the revenue to the company. Understood, my dear children? So, first this Rajas have to collect rent from the peasants. Okay, then this Rajas have to pay revenue to the company. Okay, dear children? So, this amount to be paid was fixed permanently. That means the Rajas have to pay revenue to the king. Revenue to the company. This was fixed. This Rajas paying revenue to the company was fixed. Okay. So, this amount was fixed. So, this settlement will ensure the regular flow of revenue into the company. Okay. So, this amount was little high. So, what happened? This Rajas felt difficult in spending the amount for improving the land. Because already they are paying the lot to the company. So, they don't have enough money in improving the land. Okay, dear children. So, by the first decade of 19th century, this situation changed. The prices in the market rose and cultivation slowly expanded. But even though that Rajas or Zamindars, they didn't showed any interest in improving the land. Okay, dear children. So, in the villages, the cultivators found the system extremely abrasive. So, this system was not satisfied by anyone. Okay. So, the rent they paid to the Zamindar was high. So, they have to take loan from the many lender. So, these peasants, they have to pay high to the zamindar rajas. Okay, so they found very difficult to pay this much amount to the rajas. So what they have to do, they have to take loan from the money lender. Money lender means those who are giving loans. Okay, they have to take loan. So after that, after taking loan, after some period, they will be feeling difficult to pay the loan. So what happened? They will be evicted from the land. They are not allowed to use the land. Then after, a new system was devised. The company officials decided to change the system of revenue. So they now thought they can change the system of revenue. Collecting taxes, they can change. They can make some changes. So Holt Mackenzie, what's the name? Holt Mackenzie. Holt Mackenzie. So he devised a new system which came into effect in 1822. In which year, my dear children? 1822. So new system. Who introduced that? Holt Mackenzie. In which year? 1822. So under his directions, collectors went from village to village. So they will move from village to village. They will inspect all the land, measure all the fields, record everything, and they give rights to different groups. Okay, they used to inspect all the land, measure the fields, and they will record all the customs and rights. Okay, dear children. The next, the estimated revenue of each plot within a village was added up to calculate the revenue that each village had to pay. So they will be estimating each land. So this much land, they have to pay this much revenue. So together this village have to pay this much revenue to the company. So they will be calculating everything. This demand was to be revised periodically, not permanently fixed. So they had thought like this is not permanently fixed. They will be monitoring and checking all these fields periodically and change the revenue. Okay. The charge of collecting the revenue and paying it to the company was given to the village headman. So now it is changed. Who have to collect the revenue and pay to the company? Village headman. Village headman rather than the zamindar. Now zamindar no need to pay. Okay. Because now they have made another man, that is village headman. He have to collect the revenue and he have to pay. Okay. This system came to be known as the Mahalwari settlement. The system is called as Mahalwari settlement. Mahalwari settlement. The next, the Munro system. What is the last one? The Munro system. In the British territories in the south, a new system was devised, that is known as Ryodwar or Ryodwari. Okay. So another new system, that is Ryodwar or Ryodwari. So this system was gradually extended all over South India. This settlement had to be made directly with the cultivators. So direct with the cultivators, no intermediators, directly. Okay. Who had the land for generations. Their fields had to be carefully and separately surveyed before the revenue assessment was made. So these fields will be carefully noted and the revenue, how much they have to pay, everything carefully will be noted. But all was not well. All these settlements were not satisfied and it's not good. In order to increase the income from land, revenue officials fixed high revenue demand. So, increase the income from land, what happened? This revenue official fixed high revenue. So much tax to be paid. So, the peasants were unable to pay. They cannot pay this much amount. Riots fled the countryside and villages became deserted in many villages. Many peasants, they were unable to pay this amount to that officials, so they left that village and they moved to another. Okay children, that's all. So what are the things we have seen in today's slide? So first, what is the topic? Ruling the countryside. So what is countryside actually? Countryside is a land which is away from towns and cities. So we have seen about that. So First we have seen about Diwan, how this East India Company became the Diwan. Then after that we have seen about how they are collecting the taxes for land. First we have seen about permanent settlement, and how they used to pay. First Rajas have to collect, Zamindars, they are referred as Zamindars. They have to collect the tax from the peasants, then they have to pay to the company. That was a fixed amount. Okay, so they felt that difficult, and after that we have seen about Mahalwari settlement. So in Mahalwari settlement, there will be a person, village headman. He will be collecting the taxes and he will be paying to the company. Okay, then last we have seen about Riyadwari settlement. Okay, so that are things we have seen today. So children, thank you for listening carefully. So if you have any doubt, just listen this video one more time, you will understand clearly. So thank you children, have a nice day.